power is a little bit of an issue to me in this vehicle, especially considering the fuel economy. It doesn't really get all that great of fuel economy for the lack of power that you have in the 4-cylinder. So kind of interesting trend, having small engines with low power and also low fuel economy. This is kind of strange, that combination, but that seems to be what the trend is nowadays. So as you drive, it will keep an eye out for roadsides. So right now it's showing that the last speed limit sign was 55, and so it's going to maintain whatever the last speed limit sign it was. Now sometimes it gets it wrong. Sometimes it'll tell you that it's a 55 when it was actually a 45, but in this case it was accurate. So now we see we have this sign right here. We're past that, and it didn't recognize it. So sometimes it recognizes it, sometimes it doesn't. So most vehicles have no problem recognizing the signs, but this one for some reason either doesn't recognize it or it misrepresents the sign. So you don't want to really rely on it too much, but it does have the ability to do that when it works. And when you're on smooth flat roads like this, and you're just kind of cruising along with the cruise control on, it's nice. The suspension and everything is really nice. It's pretty fun to drive. It handles corners really well, especially because it has a pretty stiff suspension. It stays, stable and everything. It's just the bumpy roads and stuff like that that's a little bit annoying, but roads like this are just a really nice, fun to drive with this vehicle. Now the adaptive cruise control has the ability to slow the vehicle down and apply the brakes and everything. So just now when that vehicle was turning in front of me, it recognizing that vehicle was going slower than me, it slowed the vehicle down. I didn't have to use the brake pedal or anything. It actually did it for me. Also, the distance it keeps you at, the adaptive cruise control, it keeps you at I have it at the furthest distance, and it's a nice comfortable distance for me. It is not too uncomfortable. I don't like being right close to cars, especially at high speeds. It's unsafe. So right here, it's slowing me down to match their speed. And it's actually slowing down a little bit more. Well, anyway, they're slowing down as well. But it gives me a good distance anyway. It's a little bit further than what you just saw, because that vehicle was slowing down. It has the lane departure alert, and I have it set to vibrate the steering wheel instead of beep. So if I swerve over here to this line, it bumps the steering wheel slightly, but also vibrates it. And it's very, non-intrusive. So it just kind of gives me a little heads up there. Now, of course, it has to have a line. So on the right side, there's no line there. So I'll hit the curb before it alert me. So you have to keep that in mind. It's looking for lines on the road and not necessarily, the sidewalk. If you have little imperfections in the road with a stiff suspension, you'll be able to notice it. So there's not like potholes right here, but it does have just some imperfections that with this stiff suspension kind of pop out at you. When you have the normal speedometer instead of the digital speedometer up here, it gives you a little red line where the speed limit is, which is pretty cool. And when you go over that, it'll actually turn red, letting you know that you're going over the speed limit. And also, when you set the cruise control, it gives you a visual indicator there where you have the cruise control set by giving you a little green line. So that's nice. That's it. I like a digital speedometer, but those are nice little features to have when you have just a regular one. On the adaptive cruise control, at this particular speed, which is 50 miles an hour, this is the distance, which is a nice far distance for adaptive cruise control. Some of them kind of get you a little bit closer. Now, you know, sometimes this is a little bit of an issue because people will try to pass you. They pass you and then they jerk the wheel and get in between you and the vehicle in front of you, which lowers your safe driving distance. But just normal driving, cruising along like this is fantastic. It's not an uncomfortably close position to be behind a vehicle. The brakes are really nice and smooth and powerful. So I feel like I can stop safely and effectively, you know, even at a really short distance with this vehicle. It's really nice.